Hey guys, good morning and welcome to the Camp Financial Stock Market Update for August 15th, 2016. Yesterday, all the major indexes, I think, closed at all-time highs. So the Dow up 0.32%, NASDAQ up 0.56%, and the S&P 500 up 0.28%. I've heard a lot of talk about that, about all the indexes hitting highs. The last time that all three indexes hit all-time highs at the same time was December 31st, 1999, which led into the big bear market of the technology meltdown. A lot of people scared about that happening again, and I would just say, be cognizant of it. Look for things that happened when that happened. When the sell-off started, watch the markets now to see if you see those same sort of things happening in this market, and then it may be time to get out. But right now, I would continue to ride the wave, just on the simple fact of the government's still pumping money in, and while money is cheap, people are going to look for places where they can make money, where they can make yield, and the stock market is the only place to do that. So I know that is a repeated commentary from me, but it makes the most sense in the type of markets that we're facing right now. So just keep that in mind. Don't panic. Just because all the markets are hitting a high together does not mean that it's going to be an automatic sell-off. Alright, now let's take a look at the heat map here. The utilities got pummeled yesterday. Drugs did well. Basic materials performed pretty well, specifically the chemicals and agricultural, oil and gas service, independent oil and gas companies, the majors, they were pretty much flat. But most of the rest of the basic materials sector performed pretty well. The airline stocks finally had a decent day again. Consumer goods, Apple performed pretty well. The financials actually had a pretty good day. Citi up almost 2%. Technology, like I said, was the smaller tech was pretty good. It's the large tech, Google, Facebook, they were all down, but yeah, like I said, the smaller tech did pretty well. The life insurers performed pretty well yesterday. See if there's any other regional banks. It looks like some of the Midwest banks, Fifth Third, Huntington, Key Bank, all had pretty good days. So it gives a pretty good idea of how the market performed. Looks like the most red that I see in here would have been Salesforce yesterday. So let's jump to the Dow, or let's actually jump into the index now. Actually, before we get into the index, I want to look. I seen on Twitter a guy asked about Amarin. They're a drug manufacturer out of Ireland. So the stock had run up to $3, almost $3.50. Even if you go just to the beginning of July, we're talking roughly from about $2.15 to $3.50, so almost a 50% gain. Obviously, that's a pretty solid return. If you go back to looks like about a week into May, it had run up through April, sold off in early part of May, dropped down to about $1.50 again, and from there ran to $3.50, pretty much in a straight up line. It did have one sell off, probably from around $2.35 down to about $2 at one point in time in June, before it rallied back up to $3.50. And so the guy said he sold some shares, and he wants to know if he should buy, hold, or sell the rest of it. You know, right now, looking at the chart, everything looks really good. And then, like I said, and that's just looking at the charts. The chart performs really well. It went up, it sold off. It's, you know, that's some people taking profits. I mean, we're talking stock that's went up 50% in a month. People are going to take profits. So, you know, people probably taking some profits, and some other people buying back in. So me personally, if I was already in it, I'd probably hold. I don't think I'd buy more necessarily. If I wasn't in it, I'd probably look for more of a pullback. I'd want to see a pullback, probably at least closer to the 20-day, and maybe even the 50-day. The 20-day moving average is right around 290. The 50-day moving average is about 245 or so. You know, and it's trading right now at $3.17. So I would probably hold off on buying it right now, wait and see what happens, and then maybe look to get back into it at a later point. Yeah. And like I said, and that's strictly financials. I mean, I see some notes out there on their financials. It looks like the underwriters have exercised their option to purchase additional shares. So that's all things that I would take into consideration. But I don't think that I would be probably buying anymore right now. So there's a look at Amarin. You know, like, that's just one stock. It's my thoughts on it right now. Now let's get into the index here. Okay. Alright, while we wait on the screener to pull up here. Maybe it's not going to work. There we go. Okay, index S&P 500, and let's look at the bottom performers in the S&P. Again, utilities, like I mentioned on the heat map, you know, you can tell, just pop in there and take a look. Utilities all in the bottom 20 with the exception of 4 stocks. Indo International, the drug manufacturer out of Ireland, Salesforce, Consolidated Edison, PPL, and Duke Energy. All the utilities, electric utilities specifically, selling off yesterday. So the flight to safety is subsiding a little bit. People are trying to find yield elsewhere, and obviously with oil price running back up, people are jumping back into that. Top performers yesterday, one that I didn't pull the trigger on in the morning, but I was looking at and I thought about buying, and I just didn't do it. Chesapeake Energy, Transocean Rig was second. Mosaic, Micron, and Wynn Resorts were the top 5 performers in the S&P 500. They were up between 9.5%, and the 5th Wynn was up 4%. Chesapeake, know when it ran up yesterday, but I was looking at it when it dropped down there around $5 again after it had rallied up, and I just didn't pull the trigger, and I guess I should have, because obviously it had quite a day yesterday. Now let's go back to the screener. We'll flip it over to the Dow and see how the big 30 did yesterday, top and bottoms. Okay, so the bottom 5 in the Dow: United Health Group, McDonald's, Walmart, Johnson & Johnson, and Travelers. All Travelers was down 0.14%. United Health Group was down 0.88%. So they're all in that range. Look at the top 5 performers. We got DuPont, Goldman Sachs, Caterpillar, Apple, and Boeing. Seeing Caterpillar, Boeing, and DuPont all in the top 5 is a positive to me. Just looking at it, that indicates, that there's still a lot of development going on in the economy. So odds are pretty good that we are going to continue to see a sustained rally. It doesn't look like the sell-off is here yet, so no need to panic yet. 19 of the 30 stocks were up, 1 was flat, and then the other 10 were down. So a good day for the Dow, good day for the markets as a whole. If you have any specific stocks, like I went over Amarin, if you have any out there that you think you'd like me to take a look at, give a brief synopsis on where I think the stock's going, I'd be more than happy. You can send me an email, chrism@campfinancial.net, or send me a tweet on Twitter @cmalik, and I will look to add that stock into the analysis for the day. So that's it for today. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow.